In the 1980s, Britain was still proud of its luxury cars. Big sedans, soft rides, wooden interiors, and strong brand names defined the roads. But this was also a time when German and Japanese cars were starting to rise fast, offering better quality and modern engineering. Many British luxury cars still looked impressive and carried big reputations, but not all of them truly deserved the hype. Some were more famous than they were good. Today, we're counting down 10 overrated British cars of the 1980s, and number 1 might surprise you even more than the rest. 10. Rover SD1, 1980 to 1986, British Leyland. The Rover SD1 was meant to be Britain's modern executive car. It had a bold fastback design that looked futuristic and a smooth straight-six engine that gave it a refined driving feel. On launch, it was praised for its styling and ambition, as it felt like a step forward for British motoring. However, reality didn't match expectations. The SD1 became known for poor build quality, electrical faults, and inconsistent reliability. While its design was ahead of its time, the ownership experience often disappointed drivers. 9. Jaguar XJS, 1981 to 1989, Jaguar. The Jaguar XJS was introduced as the successor to the legendary E-Type, which instantly created huge pressure. It featured a long elegant body, a powerful V12 engine, and a luxury Grand Tourer image. When everything worked properly, it offered smooth performance and a comfortable ride. However, many fans were divided over its styling, and it never matched the emotional appeal of the E-Type. Combined with early reliability concerns, it became a car admired for its engineering but often criticized for lacking true excitement. 8. Austin Mornigo, 1984 to 1988, Austin Rover Group. The Austin Mornigo was designed as a practical executive-style family car for everyday British drivers. It offered good space, comfort, and a modern design that looked competitive for its time. Many buyers saw it as an affordable step into a more premium driving experience. However, it suffered from inconsistent build quality and failed to match the refinement of rising European rivals. It had potential, but the execution was not strong enough to make it stand out. 7. Ford Granada, facelift models, 1982 to 1985, Ford UK. The Ford Granada was one of the most recognizable executive cars in Britain during the 1980s. It was widely used in company fleets, government services, and private ownership, which made it feel like a trusted national car. People liked it because it was comfortable, spacious, and easy to live with on a daily basis. It also had a strong road presence that gave drivers a sense of authority. However, by the early 1980s facelift models, the Granada was starting to feel outdated compared to newer European rivals. While it remained popular due to reputation and familiarity, it was no longer leading in design or engineering innovation. 6. Vauxhall Carlton, 1986 to 1989, Vauxhall Motors. The Vauxhall Carlton was introduced as a serious attempt to compete in the executive car market against German brands like BMW and Mercedes. It offered a large, comfortable body, smooth driving dynamics, and a practical interior that suited long motorway journeys. Many company car drivers appreciated its comfort and reliability for everyday use. However, despite being competent in many areas, it lacked the premium feel and sharp engineering that its German competitors delivered. It was a solid and dependable car, but it didn't have the strong identity needed to stand out in the luxury segment. 5. Rover 800 Series, 1986 to 1989, Rover Honda collaboration. The Rover 800 series was created through a collaboration between Rover and Honda, aiming to combine British design with Japanese reliability. It was positioned as a modern executive car with elegant styling, smooth performance, and improved build quality compared to earlier Rover models. Many buyers appreciated its comfort and refined driving experience, which made it a popular choice in the late 1980s. However, the partnership also created confusion in identity, as it didn't feel fully British or fully premium compared to established rivals. It was a step forward for Rover, but still not quite at the top level. 4. Jaguar XJ6 Series 3, 1980 to 1987, Jaguar. The Jaguar XJ6 Series 3 represented the final evolution of Jaguar's classic luxury saloon design. It featured traditional British luxury elements such as leather seating, polished wood interiors, and a smooth inline-six engine that delivered a calm and refined driving experience. It carried strong prestige and was widely respected in Britain during the early 1980s. However, underneath its elegant appearance, the platform was already aging and struggling to keep up with modern engineering standards. While it remained comfortable and prestigious, it was no longer competitive against newer and more advanced rivals entering the market. 3. Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit, 1980 to 1989. Rolls-Royce. The Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit represented the height of traditional British luxury in the 1980s. It was extremely quiet, smooth, and built with meticulous craftsmanship focused entirely on comfort and prestige. It was often chosen by royalty, diplomats, and wealthy business figures who valued status above all else. Inside, everything was designed to feel elegant and refined, making it one of the most luxurious cars of its time. However, despite its reputation, it lacked the modern technology and innovation that competitors were beginning to introduce. It was more about heritage and status than performance or advancement. 2. Bentley Mulsanne, 1980 to 1988. Bentley Motors. The Bentley Mulsanne carried the prestige of the Bentley name and was closely related to Rolls-Royce engineering of the same era. It offered strong performance for a luxury sedan, smooth ride quality, and a highly comfortable interior designed for elite buyers. It was seen as a symbol of British craftsmanship and tradition. However, many critics felt it didn't do enough to separate itself from other luxury cars of the time. It was elegant and powerful, but it didn't feel as groundbreaking or distinctive as its reputation suggested, making it slightly overrated in hindsight. 1. Jaguar XJ12, 1981 to 1986. Jaguar. At number 1 is the Jaguar XJ12, one of the most talked about British luxury cars of the 1980s. On paper, it had everything: a powerful V12 engine, classic Jaguar styling, and a reputation built on decades of prestige. It delivered smooth performance, strong presence, and a sense of luxury that appealed to high-end buyers. Many people still remember it as one of Jaguar's most impressive executive cars. However, ownership experience told a different story. Fuel consumption was extremely high, maintenance was complicated, and reliability issues often made it difficult to live with. Despite these problems, it continued to be heavily praised and hyped as a top-tier luxury vehicle. That gap between reputation and reality is exactly why it takes the number 1 spot on this list. Looking back at these cars, the 1980s in Britain was clearly a time of transition. Traditional luxury still mattered, and brand reputation carried a lot of weight. But the automotive world was changing fast. Performance, reliability, and modern engineering were becoming just as important as comfort and prestige. These British cars remain an important part of history, not just for what they achieved, but also for how they were perceived. Some truly delivered luxury, while others were remembered more for their name than their actual performance.